Okay, let's unpack this. If you are handling family land in Jamaica, there is one single decision, maybe made by your parents years ago, that determines everything.
Right. It determines whether transferring that property after someone passes is a simple administrative task or a multi-year, very costly legal fight.
And that decision is the difference between joint tenancy and tenants in common.
Yeah, and our mission today is really to give you that shortcut. We're looking at the source materials to figure out how these two ownership structures impact transmission.
Which is just the official legal term for transferring titled land after an owner dies, right?
Exactly. And the gatekeeper for all of this is the National Land Agency, the NLA. They handle all the titles and registrations.
The NLA has one absolute rule before they'll even look at your papers, no matter what kind of ownership you have.
That's it. Property tax compliance. The source materials are crystal clear on this. You have to formally record the death, and your property taxes must be completely up to date.
No compliance, no transmission. It's the first hurdle.
A universal barrier.
Okay, so let's look at the smooth road first. Joint tenancy. This whole thing is built on one really powerful principle.
Survivorship.
Survivorship. And this is where it gets, incredibly impactful for you as a beneficiary.
It means all the owners share equal undivided rights. So when one owner passes away, their share doesn't go into an estate or a will. It automatically, almost instantly, passes to the surviving owner or owners.
So if it's automatic, what's the paperwork? Do you have to get lawyers involved, go to court?
Thankfully, no. This is what makes it the streamlined path. Since that share never enters the estate, you bypass the courts entirely. All the surviving owners need is a simple notation of death. It's just an NLA application form used to remove the deceased's name from the title. No probate needed. It's just an administrative fix.
Okay, so if joint tenancy gives you this massive advantage in time and cost, skipping probate entirely, why would anyone ever choose tenants in common?
That is the critical question, isn't it? And the answer is usually about control, about legacy. With tenants in common, each person owns a defined separate share. It could be 50-50, 60-40, whatever.
And the moment that owner dies,
that defined share is immediately pulled into their personal estate.
And that's the trigger. That's when the mandatory court intervention we were trying to avoid kicks in.
Exactly. Now, to transfer that land via transmission, the executor of the will has to get probate. That's the court's official stamp of approval.
And what if there's no will? Which I imagine is
pretty common, much more common. Then the family has to petition the courts for letters of administration. And I saw in the source material, get this, just securing those letters could turn a simple transfer into an 18-month nightmare of costs and paperwork.
So what does this all mean? The big takeaway here seems to be that your initial choice of ownership acts as a kind of like a legal pre-filter.
That's a great way to put it. Joint tenancy guarantees that automatic survivorship, so you just need that simple notation of death.
But tenants in common guarantees court time. It's either probate or letters of administration, because that share has to be legally distributed from the estate.
Right. This choice really defines your family's future ease or hardship. But, we've only been talking about land that already has a registered title. A huge amount of family land in Jamaica has been informally passed down for generations without any formal registration.
So these rules wouldn't even apply yet?
Not at all. While transmission covers titled land, the sources also mentioned a totally separate process called first registration.
Yeah, and
that's the critical and often monumental groundwork you have to do just to get the land registered for the first time. You can't even worry about joint tenancy or probate until that's done. So the real question is, how many families are unknowingly inheriting a title problem that comes way before any of this?